friends, it's wedding season. It is my favorite time of year. It's the time of year where we get to see all of this fun planning that we've been working on come to life, and the chance where we get to bring these beautiful weddings to our clients and let them enjoy the most spectacular wedding day. Today's video, we're going to focus on last minute advice and reminders to make sure your wedding is stress-free and enjoyable. If we haven't met yet, my name is Vanessa Smith, and I am a wedding and event planner in the Seattle area. I have worked on over 3,000 weddings in my career, and I love nothing more than sharing tips and tricks with you guys on how to create the most spectacular event. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We have so much more to share. Let's get started. We're gonna go through today's video pretty quickly because I wanna get you guys back to enjoying your last few weeks of being engaged and your last chance to relax before this big celebration. Today's video is just more of a reminder, just to trigger any last minute thoughts on things that you may be overlooking. So here we go. One of my biggest pieces of advice is to get a video on how to bustle your dress. Each bustle is incredibly different, and I have worked on a ton of weddings. There's so many times where we think it's gonna be a quick job to get that train bustled, but instead it takes 3 or 4 of us standing around for like 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out how to get those little clear invisible buttons to these hooks that are impossible to find. Get a video, share it with several people in your family and your coordinator if possible to make that process a lot easier when you want your dress bustled quickly. Another tip or reminder is to make sure you file for your marriage license. Unfortunately, this isn't something you can do too far ahead of time and has to be done pretty close to the wedding. So make sure you file for the marriage license and then tuck it into the bag that you'll have with you that day so that it's present at your ceremony, so all the paperwork can be properly handled. My other piece of advice that I always remind every couple is make sure you have ample food and water available throughout the day for your bridal party and yourselves. It's really important that everybody eats because there will be a lot of drinking and partying to come. Make sure food and water is available starting in the very early morning all the way through when you guys leave for the ceremony. And then think about what you're gonna eat when you get back to your hotel room or house after the party. All of those are really important parts. Other areas that you should be thinking about is, do you owe any final payments the day of your wedding? If so, write those checks well ahead of time and stick them into a bag that you know will end up at your ceremony, or give them to your coordinator ahead of time so she can distribute them. Also, if you plan to do any cash tips to any of your vendors, put those in envelopes and just have them all set, ready to go that day. Flat lay photography, which is usually when your photographer captures imagery of your invitations, your menu cards, any of the papers that you've had created for your wedding with your flowers or your shoes, and kind of captures all the details into one photo, are definitely really important. It's a great way to capture all those incredible details that you've been pulling together building this special day. So you will want to make sure that you also have a copy of your invitation or any paperwork that you've had created readily available for your photographer to capture. I recommend getting a big envelope, putting all those items in there, and giving that to your coordinator as well. You also need to think about your overnight bag. So many couples are so worried about getting all the details there for their wedding, they forget about what they're gonna wear the night they get to their hotel room or the next morning when they go to breakfast. Make sure you pack an overnight bag and hand it to a bridesmaid or your coordinator so that they make sure it ends up at your hotel or wherever you're staying the night after your wedding. Another area in wedding planning that easily gets overlooked is transportation plans. I am sure you're gonna have to have your wedding party move from at least one location to another at some point during your wedding day. Make sure you have plans for transportation. If you aren't hiring a limo or a shuttle service, that's okay. Just make sure you have some people assigned to drive their cars, and make sure you figure out how you guys are leaving your reception at the end of the night, even if it's an Uber. Just make sure there's a plan in place. Another thing you want to think about is your cake cutting utensils and champagne flutes if you have them. You don't necessarily need to provide these items, and your caterer will most likely have some available for you, but just give it a quick thought and then let your caterer know if you need them to provide those items for you. A really important tip that I usually give people is make a full list of DIY items that you are providing, or any personal items you're providing. This could include things like flower girl baskets, champagne flutes, cake cutting, any special decor, reserved signs for the ceremony, anything that you are providing that you want to make sure ends up in a specific place during your wedding. The more communication you have about those items, the better. Giving your coordinator or your banquet captain a checklist of where those items need to be placed can be extremely helpful to make sure your vision is met perfectly. A silly one, but something that's so often forgotten, is pens for both marriage license signing and the guest book. If you don't want me to use whatever pens are randomly in the bottom of my bag, provide me with something cute to put out. Meaning, this might be a place to splurge on a few nice pens or something that looks pretty cute for photos. You'll need pens for both your guest book and your marriage license signing, so it's good to have just a nice collection of pens with you that day. In addition, you'll want to make sure that you've got all of the insurance that you need for your venue. Most venue contracts will require insurance, so take a look at your contract and make sure you've taken care of that. You usually can't buy the insurance too far in advance, so it's something you usually have to do at the last minute. Some venues, especially if you're providing your own alcohol, will also require a banquet permit. I believe in most states this has to be bought within 60 days of the wedding, so this is also a last minute task that you'll need to take care of. Then, my best recommendation to you is print off that permit when you receive it, sign it, and scan it directly to your venue, so it's not something that you have to remember the day of, but something that they already have ahead of time. The biggest piece of last minute advice I can give you is make sure you have a cleanup and removal team in place. This is the number one area that I see overlooked in all weddings. If you provide your own alcohol, someone needs to take the leftovers out that night. Who's taking the gifts? Who's taking all the beautiful items that you crafted for the last several months back and out of the venue? Almost every venue requires everything to be removed that night. And it's really hard to rally a group that have had a few too many cocktails and find volunteers to carry heavy boxes out. It's much better if you're able to plan this ahead of time and get a few people committed to helping remove all of your personal items from the venue that night. Most venues will provide you assistance in gathering these items, but it's the person that actually takes them to wherever you want them to be placed that is important for you to work on. So find your removal team and make sure that they realize that they're kind of committed to providing that service at the end of the night. My final piece of advice for you guys is make sure you enjoy being engaged. This is the last time you'll have the title of fiance. So enjoy it. Take a few minutes together, take the weekend and go away, but just enjoy this time of life. You never get it back. You soon will be newlyweds and on to your next phase of life, but take time to relish in each moment that life gives you. Again, congratulations. This is a huge step and you're so close to your big day. Please take this list not to stress you out, but more to just toss you these last minute reminders of important things that may be getting overlooked. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We have so much more to share. Take care. Bye.